Hey guys, Doug the Michigan Piper here in the Pipe Rest, and today I am smoking some Boswell's No Bite Delight, believe it or not. I had a high sugar day today, so it seemed like a good fitting. I ate like crap today. We had a conference we went to in Indianapolis, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but got back, I was like a 12-year-old on the road with what I was eating, Starburst and soda and everything else, and get back, and then wife wants pizza tonight, so we had pizza tonight, so I just ate like trash, but I figured this was a good fitting topping on the day, seeing how I ate. I am smoking it in my semi-church warden Nording. Just love, you guys, I love the way this pipe looks. He just did such a good job on this pipe. Rustication is awesome. That dripping effect is awesome. Excuse me, the walls of the bowl are fairly thick, like I like, and just a really cool little pipe. I don't smoke it a whole lot, I really don't, but nights like tonight are perfect, even though I think it went out. But yeah, I went down to FDIC, which is, it's called the Fire Department Instructors Conference. And basically it's a mecca for firefighters across the country, across the world really. So we went down there and did some walk-arounds. We're getting ready to buy a new fire truck, so we wanted to get some insight there and talk to some people about that. But it's in Indianapolis, Indiana, about 3 hours south of us, and you get about, throughout the weekend, there's about 30,000 firefighters that show up to this thing, so it's pretty impressive. It fills the stadium and the conference center. Just anything fire department related, from software to fire trucks to all kinds of tools, training. But I took a couple guys with me, met some more guys down there. And, on the way back, we got to tell them stories and stuff, and I've only been on my current department for about 3 years. And so we got, talking about some different things, and we were laughing because I was laughing anyway. Because of some of the stories, and one of them that we were talking about happened to be a fire that I had when I first got to one of my departments as a full-time firefighter, and I got, I was only there a few months, and I got to the door of an apartment fire, and one of the guys came up behind me, and he's like, "Can I have the nozzle? Can I have the nozzle? Can I have the nozzle?" I'm like, "No." "Can I have the nozzle?" "No." "Can I have the nozzle?" "No." And we were waiting on water to go in. And finally he pestered me enough. I'm like, "Fine, take the nozzle." I wanted to keep him happy because I was fairly new to the department. And it's a working fire, meaning that it's more than just like one room and contents that are on fire. Yeah, so we get water, we open the door, he goes in and he hits his knees and just starts spraying the ceiling, which you're supposed to do, but you're eventually supposed to do something else. And I'm hitting him in the back. I'm like, let's go, let's get in, let's knock it out. He's not, not getting it. And I'm sure he was scared. He hadn't been in that situation many times. And so finally, at one point, I hit him so hard on the back of his air tank that he fell over forward and had his hands down on the ground. So I ran over his back and picked up the nozzle, went and put some fire out. And fast forward to probably 5 years later, I went in with my partner on another fire. And this was in a condo, so it was split. It was like a duplex. And good working fire on that one as well. It started in the back, and we didn't know which way to go when we got into the house. So we chose, and of course we chose wrong. If we had taken a left, we'd have gone into the kitchen area, the living room area, and then out into the sunroom where the fire was at. But instead, we took a right and went down the hallway to the bedrooms. Of course, you can't see anything. And that fire was particularly cool because as we went down the bedroom walls, so one of the things you do as firefighters, you keep your hand on the wall, or at least close to the wall, foot to the wall, something to the wall, so you're anchored, so you don't get lost as easy. Now you have your hose line, you can always follow your hose line out, but it helps to know where that wall's at as well. And it was kind of cool. After the fire was over, we could go back and see this wavy line at about knee height that went down the wall all the way down the hallway where we had gone through. But anyway, so we get to the we get to the end of this hallway, and I see fire. And I'm like, hit it, hit it. He's like, hang on. I'm like, no, hit it. There's fire. Hit it. Hang on. This is a conversation that keeps going back and forth. What I didn't realize was he had hit the end of the hallway. This is a different guy, mind you, than the first scenario. And so what he's doing is looking around trying to figure out the fire situation. And I have never been known as the world's most patient man. So I climbed over his back and proceeded to go out the window onto the deck. And I turned around and I'm like, why do I see daylight? Well, what he was doing is he could see the fire through that window too. And as you go out this window, if you look to the left, that's where that sunroom was at, and that's where the fire is blowing out of. But it was so smoky. We had so smoky conditions where we were at, you couldn't see anything. So all you could see was a little bit of fire, but you knew something wasn't quite right. So yeah, I'm like, well, give me the hose. So he's mad because, not mad, but, irritated because I just, one, crawled right over the top of him, and two, now I want to take the nozzle from him. And when you're a firefighter, when you're going in to fight fire, having the nozzle is the best, right? Having the nozzle is like driving the car. Would you rather drive the car, or would you rather ride shotgun? So he hands me the nozzle, comes through the window, and we go back in off the deck into the sunroom. And it's working pretty good. I mean, we get it knocked down before we get in. Again, putting the rest of the fire out as we go in. Well, when I hit the ceiling, it had been burning in the attic. And when I hit the ceiling with the nozzle, it brought that whole ceiling down on us. And when I say ceiling, I don't mean the whole roof fell. But just the drywall. So, it stuns you at first. You're getting smacked in the head and the shoulders. You're not really sure what by. It almost feels like somebody's body falling on you. You do that real quick check, like, am I, all my parts and pieces still connected? Yes, they are. Nothing really hurts real bad. But there was blown-in insulation in the attic. And blown-in insulation is not a fireman's friend. It's miserable because it hides embers and you can't find them, and you have to basically suck it all out of the house in order to make sure that you got it out. So as the ceiling came in, this blown-in insulation aerates. And if you've never been around blown-in insulation, it's a lot like the stuffing of a teddy bear. There's no structure to it whatsoever. It's actually finer than a teddy bear stuffing. So you've got all of this stuff floating around in the air that's now aerated that is lighting up. And so immediately we're in a fireball, but it was quick. It wasn't anything, to be, like our lives were in danger, and, but anyway, as it lit up, the fireball goes away, and now you have all these embers all around you. And for a minute, I was awestruck because I'm looking around like, this is cool, because it was like a million fireflies. Like, imagine being in a swarm of a million fireflies. And I'm just looking around like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever been part of. And my partner starts to scream. And all he's screaming is, and keep in mind, we've got masks on. So it's a muffled scream. And he's like, put me out, put me out, put me out. And I looked down, and there was so much insulation in this place that it had insulation up to basically top of our boots, so like mid-shin that we're standing in. Well, about a foot above that is a flame. The top layer is burning, and it's burning up our legs. But we have, fire gear. We weren't burning. Got warm, but it wasn't, the fire gear was better than that. So, at least for that situation. And he's screaming, put me out. And I spray him, I spray myself, and I spray him again, and I'm laughing the entire time. I'm laughing so hard, and he's like, what's so funny? I'm like, the fact that you were screaming like a little girl. And to this day, he swears, I wasn't screaming. It's like, oh yeah, you were screaming. You were screaming like a 12-year-old girl who's getting her, the snot kicked out of her or something. But yeah, it was funny. It was fun. And these stories just kind of came out, as we're on this trip. And of course, if you get a firefighter telling stories, I mean, it's almost nonstop, especially with me, because I like to tell stories. I like to, entertain, obviously. We do this, right? But we just had a good time telling stories and going down and seeing. There's a lot of stuff to see down there at FDIC, and it was a really good time. It was just a really good day. There was 7, 8, 9 of us, I think, that went down for a department, and most of us, not all of us, most of us sat down at lunch together and told stories and laughed at lunch, and just a good day. And so now I'm back, and I'm smoking my pipe, and I go up and relax with Mama, maybe watch a movie or something tonight, and just figured I'd share that with you guys. So hope you enjoyed. So guys, I hope you all are doing well. Until next time, you take care.